Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this or listening to this. I'm your host, Jim Lettuce, the host with the most, the supreme lettuce. This is the Temporary Space Show, the official podcast for Temporary Space Studios. This is the podcast where we talk about technology and entertainment and where they collide. So I got a big list of stuff today. It's probably going to be a bit longer than normal. I'm going to go with my notes here and then I'll just go through all the million tabs I have on my phone because my poor phone it's starting to lag because there's so many tabs. I really should put these subjects in my notes and just put a link so I don't have to have all these tabs on my phone all month before I record this. Anyways, this is the podcast episode for February 2024. Yeah, I know it's March. I waited too long. I procrastinated again. One of these days I'm going to get the episode out before the end of the month like it's supposed to be. Don't ask me what episode number this is. I don't know until I upload it and then I look at the last one and figure out what the number is. So let's get down to business. The first thing on my notes is Xbox on PS5 thoughts. So this is kind of an old story in terms of the internet. This is like 2 or 3 weeks old now. But there was a rumor that Xbox was going to stop making Xboxes and put their exclusives on other platforms, and Xbox, the Phil Spencer guy, who's like the head of Xbox, he had to come out and be like, no, calm down. We're going to do an update. So they did this quote, business update, and it was this weird podcast format that was very manufactured. Clearly they had done multiple takes and the editing and everything, and I think that's weird. I think there's nothing wrong with having a production, but when it's made to look like it's on the fly, but it's not, that's a bit suspicious. And of course, they did the whole thing, and at the end, nobody really knows what it means because it's so full of that corporate doublespeak where they don't really say anything, that nobody really knew what was going on anyways. Everybody had to read between the lines, and we had to wait another week for all the YouTube people, the creators, to respond to it. And so after all that, now we have a decent idea of what's happening, which is they're not going to quit making Xboxes. They're definitely going to have some Xbox exclusives go over to PlayStation and PC. But I don't think they're going to stop doing... They're definitely going to make more Xboxes because they got a new all-digital one on the way. I, for one, am hype about it. But they're definitely going to... I think it's like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves is going to be on PS5. And I'm actually excited about that because I really want to play Sea of Thieves. It's like a pirate MMO. And it's way more fun than that new Ubisoft one that came out that nobody seems to care about. The one that is a quadruple A game that flopped because nobody wants to play it because it sucks. But, so, as a consumer, I think this is fine. Like I said, I want to play these games on my PlayStation. I don't really want to buy an Xbox for that, even though I still plan on buying an Xbox so that I can play Starfield. I'm still going to do that. I did my taxes recently, and my tax return, while not as fat as it used to be, it's definitely fat enough where I might buy an Xbox with it. I haven't decided. I really should just save it and invest that money, but, we'll see what happens. If you want to support us and help me buy said Xbox, click a link below, buy a shirt, check out our website. But as a CEO, if I was running Xbox, I would totally do this. Why would you not want to make more money? I'm not sure how much it would really hurt their brand if they made Halo and Gears of War, which is pretty much the only exclusives they have now. I don't know how much it would hurt their brand if they made those on PlayStation. They're already on PC, so I'm not sure. The only people that are upset about it is like the hardcore Xbox fanboys, and I don't blame them. If I'd invested in all that and then they're like, oh, we're not going to do it anymore, I'd be mad too. I think the problem is Gears of War and Xbox are I meant to say Gears of War and Halo. They're just, the last few entries have just not been that cool. Halo Infinite is the new Halo. I bet you were just thinking to yourself, what's the new Halo called? I had to think about it for a second. That's exactly my point. I think the CEO of whatever company does Halo, I think she had to step down or something because Halo Infinite did so bad. Let's look it up. Let's look this bad boy up. I think it's 343 CEO step down. Because it was called Spartan 343. That's why they named their studio that. Oh, never mind. That was in 2022? Okay, and then a guy named Pierre Hintz he stepped up to the plate, so he's the new big dog. Okay. Well, in 2 years, I don't think anything different has happened with Halo Infinite. The problem with the new Halo is it doesn't have an identity anymore. It's literally Call of Duty with a Halo skin on it. And I love Call of Duty, but they really need to find their identity again. There was something unique and special about Halo, and I'm sad to say Bungie was it. But now Bungie's doing Destiny, and that's a whole nother issue. Do I have any... I don't know if I have any tabs open for this. Hold on. Let me consult my all-knowing iPhone. To the missed call. I swear, y'all, I get like 1 million robocalls a day. It's so silly at this point. Okay, let's see. Do I have any Xbox-related tabs here? I need to go through these notes, and then we'll go through the tabs and try not to repeat everything. I'll repeat a few things, though. So, yeah, I think it'll be fine. Xbox will be fine. They're definitely going to be more like Sega, where they just make games everywhere. Maybe that's a good idea. But see, since all this came out, the whole industry as a whole, like the gaming industry, is having all these crazy layoffs. And I think we're having a lot of, what's the word? Not backlash, but in the pandemic, everything was too good for these companies, and now they're starting to see the fallout of that, where they just don't need that many people. We're not in pandemic mode anymore, so people like Netflix and video game industry, they're just not going to make as much money, and they're dealing with it. Alright, so let's move on. The next one is a new Elgato. I've talked about this on my live streams a few times. I'm very excited. Let's pull it up. Let's see. What is the new Elgato called? It's got a fancy name. Elgato. It's called the 4KX. So the one I have is the HD60X, which it only does 1080p. This new one definitely does HDMI 2.1. It does 4K up to 144, ultra low latency VRR, which is variable refresh rate. That's very exciting. I'm not going to utilize all that. I really just want 4K 60. And I'm definitely going to buy one. It's $229. Again, you want to help me get this, support us by buying a shirt. Click on our website. Just click on all the things below. The t-shirts help the most. That's like direct funding when we get a shirt. Even though, low-key, we don't make much money per shirt. But that's besides the point, okay? I want to charge reasonable prices for my merchandise. At least the clothing. And it sure does look exactly the same as the first one. I don't know why they would change it. Play without limits, that's what it says. Here you go. Create on your own terms. Make no compromises. Brings super speed game capture to next gen players. Blah, blah, blah. All I hear is 4K. That's what I want. I want 4K. I'm tired of having to do this weird up resolution with YouTube and OBS where it's like I'm capturing it in 1080p, but it's down converted from 4K signal on the PS5 itself, but then up-resed to 2K because YouTube is stupid and it'll apply the weird compression if it's only 1080p. And if we can get up to 4K, I can bypass all of that and have a higher base quality, which is ideal. So what do my notes say? Yeah, pretty much that's it. Okay, now let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is Disney and Fortnite collab. Apparently they're collaborating. I swear I have a tab for this. Oh, I just deleted one of my tabs by accident. I don't know which one that was. I don't think... Let's just Google it. We're sitting here. Just go on this journey with me. Let's go on this journey. So Disney and Fortnite. So you have to understand that Fortnite is so ubiquitous. It's kind of like Call of Duty where they have all these crossovers. Oh, I think it's already happened. Oh no, it's supposed to happen. They're going to put like Mickey Mouse and the girl from Frozen and Iron Man. Even though they've already done a few Avengers things in Fortnite, they definitely had Thanos at one point. But it's quite genius marketing. These ubiquitous games like Fortnite and Call of Duty that so many people play, instead of spending all this money trying to make some Iron Man game, just, work out a licensing deal where you can have Iron Man show up in Fortnite. Boom, Bob's your uncle. They're doing a good example of that in Call of Duty is all the stuff with The Boys, where, that superhero show on Amazon Prime. You can play as those characters in Call of Duty. Now, it's a skin, and you gotta pay like $15, $20, which is honestly a bit steep for one skin. $10 is pushing it, but $15, $20, that's like a DLC for a game. Of course, that's out of date. That's a DLC for a game like 10 years ago. But I think it's genius. I think if they're not doing it, they should get on it. Okay, here it is. It's on the official Disney website. So it's for sure happening. Here it is. Okay. They will collaborate on an all-new game and entertainment universe. Oh, it's a new game? That's stupid. I thought they were just going to expand Fortnite. Fortnite is slowly becoming like Ready Player One, which is good. I think that's cool stuff. Just having entire worlds within these, these shared universes, like Grand Theft Auto Online, where there's rap albums and songs that are being released only within Grand Theft Auto Online. I think it's genius. I want more of it. Alright, it says Disney will invest $1.5 billion to acquire an equity stake in Epic Games. Oh, I didn't know they were investing directly into the company. Whoa. So, they're going to make a new game, but we're going to see more Disney stuff in Fortnite. Now, I don't like to talk about my age, but I'm a little old to be playing Fortnite. However, I've actually been watching Fortnite over the last few years, and I really want to get into it. I'm more interested in their survival mode. I don't really want to play the Battle Royale part, per se. Even though I like Battle Royale, I do it on Call of Duty with Warzone. That's basically the Call of Duty Battle Royale mode. But I'm going to get Fortnite and play it. I want to see what all the fuss is about, you know? So, it says, in addition to being a world-class game experience, interoperating with Fortnite, the new persistent universe will offer a multitude of opportunities to play, watch, shop, engage. Ooh, are we going to see some exclusive Disney things being released only in this or Fortnite? That's cool. Content stories from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and Avatar. I forgot Disney owns Avatar. Gosh, Disney is such a behemoth. They create their own stories. Okay. We need to wait and see how this plays out. Our new exciting... So this is a quote from Bob Iger, the guy who runs Disney. Our exciting new relationship with Epic Games will bring together Disney's beloved brands and franchises with the hugely popular Fortnite in a transformational new games and entertainment universe. So I think part of this is motivated because Disney and the larger movie industry is just not making that much money. It's a little bit different than the video game thing where they're experiencing fallout from being out of the pandemic. I think it has to do with the content specifically. I mean, when's the last Pixar Marvel movie you watched? You know, the quality has really gone down, and I think they're losing a lot of money on this stuff. And Bob Iger was like, oh crap, we gotta do something. And I bet you his kids, I don't know if he has kids, but I bet you he was like, wait a minute, these kids are always playing that Fortnite. We gotta get into that Fortnite. So I think that's what happened. Here we go. Disney was one of the first companies to believe in the potential of bringing their worlds together with ours in Fortnite. And they use Unreal Engine across their portfolio. That's Tim Sweeney, the head of Epic Games. Just keep adding on to Fortnite. Make it this big, you know, this huge universe, just like Ready Player One. That's what the people want. Just make it happen, okay? Alright, what else? Let's see. The next one is Sora AI. We have to talk about Sora. Very exciting. So, a year ago, they had the Will Smith eating spaghetti created by AI, and it's like nightmare-inducing. It's really weird, like a bad dream or something. But 1 year later, it is crazy good. Sora AI is created and owned by OpenAI, which does ChatGPT, which is the most prominent, most popular, most successful AI so far. All the other companies are scrambling to get in the game. People like Google, they already had one called Bard. And I think Microsoft had experimented over the years, like with Tay on Twitter. Let's not talk about Tay if we all know what happened with Tay on Twitter. But it's been a lot of stumbles. And then last year, ChatGPT came out of nowhere and dominated. So everyone else is like, oh, we can do it. And it's kind of like with Netflix, where Netflix came out and they're dominating. So everyone else is like, oh, we got to have a streaming service too. We gotta try to compete. And it gets harder for these big companies to stay on top. And so Netflix recently came out and was like, yeah, we're on top still. We're making all this money. I think Netflix is the only streaming service that is actually still making consistent profits compared to like Disney Plus and the Apple TV one. I don't think they're doing well at all. I think Disney might buy that or the other way around. I'm not sure. But this is another example of the big dog on top coming out and saying, that's right, we are on top and we're staying on top. Deal with it. So Sora AI is a video... Hold on, let me pull it up on this tab here. Sora. It's Sora AI. Sora AI. Now, I have a ChatGPT thing, but I think Sora AI is going to have to be a separate one per se. Basically, it's kind of like Midjourney where you type in a prompt and it'll do a picture, except it's video now. And we had video before. I think Midjourney had one. Let's see, who are the competitors? Video AI generators. Sora, here it is, that's what we need. Top best 9 AI video generators, text to video. Gia InVideo, I've heard of that. Veed.ai. Lumen 5 was one of them. Design. See, the thing is, none of the big names were doing it. So I think with OpenAI, they were like, well, there's a void in this market as well. Why would we not jump in and dominate this? The catch is, it's actually good. If you look at the, let's see if I can mute this. I don't want to play some ad. I'm trying to pull up some of the Sora AI examples, but basically, you type whatever you want and it'll actually make it. But instead of that weird, uncanny nightmare fuel like with Will Smith eating spaghetti, you get something that looks like a big budget commercial, like a, $1 million commercial shot by Michael Bay. This is crazy. I'm very excited. Here's an example. They have this lady walking through Times Square, or what looks like Tokyo. And when you look real close, you can tell it's AI because some of the hands will be weird, or the way certain people move. There's certain physics elements that AI like this just cannot do yet. Oh yeah, her hands look weird. Her thumb looks way too long. But it's so good though. It's almost there. Imagine how good this is going to be in a year. It's actually pretty scary. I've talked about this before, but all this AI stuff, I really think we should turn it off. Like, as a consumer, as a technology YouTuber, gamer guy, I'm super excited about this, but as a human being, I can see how Terminator could appear from all this. We really should turn all this stuff off. We should just stop making it because the rate of improvement is so fast. It's way faster than humans. I mean, how long did it take humans to evolve into walking, right? From evolving from monkeys or whatever? Well, we're talking millions of years. But with this AI, within less than 5 years, it's going to surpass us. Like, what do we do when it becomes smarter than us? That's when you get the plot like iRobot with Will Smith, no less. I just don't know. The problem is the cat's out of the bag. You're never going to stop. Why would they? So much money can be made. Look at this thing. What it does is it improves on itself. Like, you can say, I want a dog in the snow, and it shows the original model, and it's like this nightmare fuel. But then with the new computational power that I guess they're using, it can improve it to the point where it looks crazy good. It's insane. This is so crazy. It can sample videos. Here we go. This is the technical. It can do variable durations, resolutions, aspect ratios. It would technically crop or do videos 4 seconds at 256 by 256. It says we find that instead training on data that at its native size provides several benefits. So it'll train on data that's actually 4K. This lets Sora. It can sample widescreen videos and everything in between. So does it let you input your own video and say, okay, I want you to make it better? This is crazy. It's got this turtle in the sea. Man, people are really going to lose their jobs over all this. Like, it's so good at getting camera angles and like lens distortion. Apparently it can understand language a lot better. It's jumping on the shoulders of DALL-E 3, which apparently OpenAI owns. DALL-E. Now there's a guy. So the prompt for this one is, adorable kangaroo wearing purple overalls and cowboy boots taking a pleasant stroll in Antarctica during a blizzard, and it looks so good. It's crazy. Like, you can make Pixar level animations with this. This is crazy. Yeah, there's still something off, like when they walk. You can tell when people move, it doesn't look right. Oh, you can also take a DALL-E image that you create in DALL-E, which is their AI image one, and then it will animate that. Oh, that's so cool. It can animate flat designs. Whoa, this is good. So there has this one where it's like an ornate hall and a massive tidal wave peaks begins to crash. Two surfers seizing the moment. And it has a picture, but then the video is crazy. This looks like some $100 million Industrial Light and Magic. That's the company that does the stuff for Avatar. And this is crazy. Now it's got like GoPro footage of like people on a bike in the woods. What I want to do is I want to do what they do with Corridor Digital, this YouTube channel. They used a lot of this technology to make their own anime. And what I want to do is use it to make my own movie, like a live action movie. But I think you're still going to have to record the voices, which is not terrible. Man, that's so crazy. So I just wanted to talk about Sora and how crazy this is. How I think videographers are definitely going to lose work over this. That sucks for them. But I don't think it's the end of the world. I think largely this is a tool, and now a new job is opening up where people that are good at doing prompts and utilizing and manipulating these systems, those people are going to have a job now. So get good at that, right? So it can generate images just from scratch, but it can also edit and enhance the ones you already have. Simulation capabilities. Man, that's so cool. I can't wait to jump in and play with this. But the way you pay for it is weird. Like, OpenAI has like a monthly thing you pay for with ChatGPT, but this kind of stuff, it uses tokens, which is literally just like each word or each unit, like a word or a picture is a token basically, and it prices per token. So it might be $1 per token, it might be, well, here we go, we got a Minecraft thing. It can simulate artificial process. It can simultaneously control the player of Minecraft with a basic policy. So it can make Minecraft videos. That is nuts. This is so trippy. Man. I think AI is cool, but it's going to take over the world. We got to be careful with this stuff. Alright, I've ranted about AI enough. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is... Where's my notes? My trusty notes. Oh, we got to talk about the new DVD. I definitely have a tab for this. So this is probably going to be the title of the video. Where is it? Oh, here, I found my Sora tab. We pretty much covered it. I can delete that tab. I need to find... I don't think I have it. I think that's the tab I deleted, was the giant DVD one. Yep, that's the one I deleted by accident, was the giant DVD. So we'll just Google it. New DVD storage. It's like multiple terabytes. I think it was, here it is. Shout out to PC World. We are not sponsored by them. Okay, so this was discovered in China. It's an optical disc for you kids out there. Before thumb drives and digital solid state drives, we've always had hard drives as well. But for a while there, the biggest storage you had was a DVD. And they came out with Blu-ray DVDs, which is like PS5 stuff. This is before PS5 though. I think it was on PS4, if we're talking about timeline. But for a while, optical disc was the biggest storage you could get a hold of. And so that's why games were released on DVD or like on a disc, and we had DVDs and Blu-rays and all that. Now everything's digital, but it was way, way bigger than cassette tapes back in the day, like VHS tapes. And they apparently came out with a new one that can hold, holy crap, it's not 1 or 2 terabytes, it's 200 terabytes of data. What the hell? That's crazy. So it's in China. Of course, they made a cool discovery in China. They made it possible by storing data in 3 dimensions instead of 2. They developed a way to store data on 100 layers of the disk so they could do even more. Holy crap. So it's an old procedure. Okay, alright, so here's a life lesson for you. A lot of the breakthroughs in technology is when people go back and try to work on something that already exists but improving it, not necessarily brand new things. A good example of this is Tesla batteries with the Tesla cars. We had, it's named after Nikola Tesla, this famous inventor guy, and he came up with I could look it up, but he made a lot of, I think he came up with transistors. The point is, Elon Musk went back and tried to improve on that technology. He didn't just invent Tesla batteries out of nowhere. It already existed, but he found a way to make it wildly efficient and more profitable. So it's something to do with 3 layers. I don't understand how it's more than that, more than 2 dimensions, but okay. Major obstacle in the earlier research was that optics used to read and write the data were limited to the size of the wavelengths of light they utilize, because it uses a little ray of light. That's where you get the name Blu-ray, because it shoots a little blue light. In the new method, the data is recorded in dots just 54 nanometers wide, which corresponds to around 1/10 of the wavelength of visible light used. Oh, so they're using a smaller font, basically. Oh, that's genius. Alright, the variant size of a DVD would provide 200 terabytes. That's crazy. The question is, what is the read and write speed? So you're looking at 21 times the size of a Blu-ray. This is going to have really good archiving benefits in the future. Not necessarily read and write, but archiving. As a video person, I've struggled with that, where it's like, how do I archive my little short films that I made and stuff like that over the years? It's on our website, right? And I intend to make that go forever with my will. But we need better storage, because for a long time, the only storage that was viable was old records, like record players, like a hipster, like that kind of record, and actual film reels. Because to this day, film reels, if you keep it in the right, like celluloid, if it's in the right temperature, it'll last hundreds of years. But it won't last thousands of years. That's the real question. And in the last episode, I definitely talked about glass storage, which is being researched by Microsoft. I think that's what we're looking in the future for thousands of years. Because DVDs and optical stuff, it really doesn't last that long. Some of my DVDs now are starting to fade. It'll start skipping and stuff. And I've noticed CDs do that as well after 10, 15 years. But I digress. Here we go. high density, ultra high. Wait. This will enable the use of ultra high density optical data storage technology in large data centers. Wow. What a mouthful. What a buzzword. So they want to focus. So it's for data centers. I'm not sure if regular plebs like us will get a hold of it. They've also determined production of the blanks is compatible with already known DVD mass production. Oh, cool. So they don't have to make new types of discs. It works on the discs that we already make, like for DVDs and Blu-rays. Wow. So it says they therefore even suitable. So the plebs like us will get a hold of it. Wow. That's so exciting. I want to be able to put all the movies I own on this. I mean, I think you could do that now, but you have to compress it. Wow, man, this is so exciting. It's called a petabit, which is 1,000 terabytes. I'm still researching here. Alright, this article says the same thing we just went through. Alright, if you tried to encode the same amount of data onto Blu-rays, you need 10,000 blank ones. Jeez, this is insane. Well, very exciting. Okay, where's the next topic? Okay, we reached the end of my quote-unquote notes. So now I'm just going to go through these tabs I have open in my iPhone that are basically making it go slow. Alright, so we're going to dip more into the entertainment side because there were complaints in the comments that I'm too much on technology and not entertainment technology. So I do like the entertainment business. So, it's technology and entertainment where they collide, not just technology. So we want to talk about Jon Stewart coming back to The Daily Show. So Trevor Noah was the host of The Daily Show. How long did he do it? Let's see. When did Trevor Noah start hosting The Daily Show? What? 2015? That was 10 years ago? Y'all, I swear, there's like a time warp. Even before COVID, maybe it's just because I'm getting older, but I swear, everything goes by so fast now, it's insane. I was thinking Trevor Noah took over 3-4 years ago, tops. It was 2015. We're talking 9 years ago. What? Oh my gosh, that blows my mind. So, I think Trevor Noah was one of the biggest disappointments as far as hosting The Daily Show, because I like Trevor Noah. I like his stand-up. He's hilarious, but when he took over The Daily Show, it just wasn't that funny anymore. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's the team behind it. Maybe it's Trevor Noah himself. I think part of it's definitely the content that they were doing on The Daily Show. I think obviously it's political because it's a news show, but I think some of their politics might have gotten in the way of making it a good show. That's definitely part of it. I don't know how much, but it's greater than zero, right? And I think Jon Stewart was getting cabin fever, right? And he's not too old. You've seen him doing videos since he quit doing The Daily Show, and he has the big beard. But it's kind of like Letterman, how he quit his show, but then he just started doing another show on Netflix. So he didn't really quit anything. He just moved to a different platform. So Jon Stewart actually did not do that. He would chime in on certain news shows, and he would make appearances. but he didn't start doing his show on some other platform. Fast forward to now, he has officially returned to The Daily Show, and I actually watched The Daily Show because I quit watching when Trevor Noah did it because, like I said, it was really disappointing. It just wasn't as funny anymore, and so I fell off. But I actually tuned in to The Daily Show because Jon Stewart is back, and it's like he didn't miss a beat. That time warp thing, it works in a positive way where it feels like it's 2014 again and Jon Stewart is on The Daily Show. And he was really funny. He was saying a lot of stuff that we're all thinking. We don't do politics on this show, so I'm not going to get into the subject matter. But it's nice to have someone who seems like he's not an idiot. That's not to say Trevor Noah is an idiot, but I think Trevor Noah was very biased, whereas Jon Stewart, he definitely has bias, but he'll make fun of both sides of the aisle without hesitation, and he's actually doing that. The article I'm reading is about him getting backlash for not necessarily catering to one side or the other, which isn't that what news is supposed to be? It's supposed to be impartial, right? Like, for you kids listening, the news used to be very impartial. It's all very biased one way or the other, depending on which network you watch. But Jon Stewart being on The Daily Show is definitely a throwback. Okay. Speaking of entertainment, let's talk about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl came and went. I was actually going to go to this Super Bowl party at like a wing place, and I was super hype about eating wings. I'm not really into football, but I like the event of the Super Bowl, you know? I like the big show. I like the commercials. And I really wanted to just like hang out with people because, newsflash, it's 2024. People don't go outside that much anymore, and I'm getting older, and I can see how I have to work harder to have friends and people to be around. Otherwise, I'm going to turn into I'm already a hermit anyways. I've talked about this before. But I can see now that I have to actively cultivate people to hang out with. And it's going to get harder as I get older. But anyways, I was going to go to the Super Bowl party, but it got canceled because the girl doing it, she got called into work because she has one of those jobs where she's like on call. But I'm bringing up the Super Bowl because it's related to Kanye West and his Super Bowl advertisement. Now, again, we don't do politics, but if you've been watching the news in the past few years, Kanye West is not the favorite anymore, we'll put it that way. And this is unrelated to that, but people are always hating on him and talking about him now, which you can see there's no such thing as bad press, right? But he ran an ad for something... Ye's submission, but what was his ad for? I don't know what is the product he was promoting, but it's something he owns. And everybody was talking smack about him, right? They're like, oh, Kanye West, he sucks. His stupid advertisement, blah, blah, blah. And then he brought up... Okay, so let's go back. We need to give you context, okay? If you're not American, the Super Bowl is a big deal in America. American football is a big deal. And we have the Super Bowl every year, which is just a big competition between all the teams. And it's the winner of all the teams, right? It's two teams fighting. They play a football game, obviously. And the commercials on here are highly coveted. They are, okay, are you ready? Here's a quote. These companies pay $7 million just to have a commercial play for 30 seconds in the Super Bowl. That's how big the viewership was. And apparently this year, it had some of the highest viewership in years. So, needless to say, it's very expensive, but it can pay off because you get a lot of views. And I want to bring this up just because everybody's talking smack about Kanye. And mind you, he's a billionaire. He doesn't need the money. But he did an ad for... I think it's shoes. I think his Yeezys, those are his shoe line. He has these shoes called Yeezys. These things go for a lot of money. People buy them and sell them just like Nikes. And if you ask me, they're the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my life. But people like them. I mean, maybe they're comfortable. I don't know. But he released a video talking smack, saying everybody's talking smack to me for doing my Super Bowl ad. But guess how much money he made from doing this ad? So he paid what, $7 million, right? The sales. Oh, here it is. It's his shoes. Okay, he did an ad, spent roughly $7 million to have this ad, right? And he did a screenshot with his business manager saying how much money they made. He made $20 million. Can you believe that? $7 million cost, $20 million revenue. So I'm bad at math in my head. So what is 20 million? We want 20 minus 7. That's a $13 million profit from one ad. And on top of all the publicity for people talking about it and talking smack about him, you know he's making more money. Like, there's no such thing as bad press. You know, I mean, unless you kill someone, that's pretty bad. That's crazy. And his ad looks really weird, too. It was like a weird, like, the commercial itself was weird. Let's see if I can play it without the sound. Hold on. Alright, I'm trying to play the ad on this little website here. I'm starting to think in the future this podcast, at least the YouTube version of the podcast, is definitely going to have video where you can like see what I'm Googling. Alright, it won't play. But you get the idea. Kanye West is making tons of money. Hate him or love him, he's rich. That's for sure. For some reason, I have a tab with Kristen Stewart. I think Kristen Stewart, she's an interesting character. She became famous with the Twilight movies, and she kind of does these smaller things. She did a Princess Diana one, which I heard was really good. People were talking smack saying that she's not the best Princess Diana. There's this girl named Elizabeth Pedlecki who plays Diana in the Netflix one. She looks the part. I'm actually a big fan of hers, so I don't want to talk smack about her, but I think Kristen Stewart's Diana was actually better than her Diana. Go figure. But I guess I just want to talk about Kristen Stewart as like a movie star entity. I think maybe because she's gotten real political lately, maybe that's why she's not in big movies, but I think she should be a bigger star. So maybe that comes down to like her agent. She's definitely doing these like smaller indie type things. But I wish she would do these like big budget blockbuster dramas / I don't know about superhero movies, but I think she's got the star power still. I like to think I'm good at recognizing star power, and obviously she's been a star for like 10 plus years. So duh, right? But she recently did some movie. I didn't watch it, but I just think I wish Kristen Stewart would do these like high profile, bigger movies and not the smaller ones. But then again, she's probably rich as fuck from Twilight, so she doesn't need it. So maybe she's just like doing whatever she wants now, that's the way to go. If you can make enough money and then just do side quests, that's the life right there. That is the life. Okay. Now, the next one, we're still talking about the entertainment industry, but this is technology too a little bit. So, they're bringing back the X-Men show. The 90s X-Men, you know the song where it's like... I think only our older viewers will know what I'm talking about. No offense to the younger people, but this was a really good show back in the day. Now, since then, they've had so many reboots. I was a big fan of the one that came after this, which was X-Men Evolution. I remember watching that a lot. That was actually really good. But they're bringing back the old one, and it's the old style of animation. However, it's important to state, it's not the same technology. When you look really close, you can tell that it's modern technology emulating the old style. So it's not the actual old style animation. It's new technology emulating the old style. Now, that's how everything is nowadays, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. It's not like they're going to bust out the old school hand-drawn stuff like the Studio Ghibli guy does. But I guess I just want to talk about how it's a real, like, this says a lot about the industry, that all the new stuff they're doing is so bad that nobody's buying it, and they're being forced to bring back all the old stuff because they don't have any new ideas. While I love this, I'm frustrated because I don't think, maybe I'm a snooty for saying this, but it's not that hard to come up with new things. Because part of it is like, people have been doing this stuff for 100 plus years in terms of like filmmaking, and it's kind of hard to come up with 100% original stuff. If you really want to do 100% no exceptions, you're going to have to go the artsy fartsy route like Terrence Malick. But at the end of the day, like, as a business person, this makes perfect sense. This is what I would do. But I watched the trailer, and I'm worried they're going to screw it up. I think what they're going to do is they're going to bring back the old style. They got all the voice actors back, except for, like, one guy. I think I heard the guy who played Cyclops died, so that's a different dude. But everyone else is the same. And it's just, you know, they're not going to do it justice. They're gonna change it, and it's gonna feel different, and they're gonna inject all the modern politics into it, and it's just not gonna be as good as it was in the 90s. And it brings me back to something that I've said before. Nostalgia is best left in the past. So many times have I gotten on YouTube and tried to watch some old cartoon I watched when I was a kid, and it's cool, but it was so much better when it was just a blurry memory in my mind. Like, the value was there, whereas the value of bringing it back and trying to milk it, whether it's like a big show like this and you're a company, or whether you're just an individual trying to watch some old thing on YouTube, it's just, it's better in your head. Just leave it in the past. Find something new. But then again, the problem is a lot of the new stuff these days kind of sucks. Or, not that it sucks, it's just like, you have to look so much harder to find good shows and movies and stuff like that now. It's really sad. Okay. The Sympathizer, what is this? It's a new Robert Downey Jr. thing. It's an HBO thing with A24. Oh, it's the director of Oldboy. Oh, never mind. He's the showrunner. What is it about, though? Because you hear Sympathizer, is it like, oh, it's a novel. Oh, it's a spy thriller, but also satire. And Robert Downey looks terrible in it. What is that haircut? Okay. Well, that's boring. Let's move on to the next topic. Some of these tabs I save, I'm like, what? Apparently these stars disappeared from the sky. You know what? It's probably pollution. Then again, maybe it's some kind of interstellar space war that is happening, and we're so far away that we just see the stars disappear. You know how, like, because everything's so far away, we're looking into the past. So a lot of the stuff with stars we see, this stuff is already burned out, but it'll take so long to get here that we'll never, you know, it might have already exploded and we don't even know. But they said these 3 stars disappeared. It's with the Grand Telescope Canarias, some telescope, apparently. Alright, this is a nothing burger. Let's move on. Alright, now we're going to get into the entertainment and technology colliding part, okay? Are you ready? YouTube dominates TV streaming in the US per Nielsen's latest report. The Nielsen is just like this study they do. It's called the Nielsen Report. But so I live with my dad. He's very elderly, and he's always trying to get a hold of newspapers. And I'm like, Dad, you're holding a $900 Samsung phone in your hand. You don't need a newspaper. And like most people in the older generation, they don't. It's like they don't appreciate it, but they also don't care. They like the physical act of consuming the media in the old-fashioned way. And I can relate to that because I find myself watching Pluto TV all the time because it feels like television in the 90s and 2000s when I was a kid. And he's looking to buy YouTube TV, which is like a YouTube premium service. It's not YouTube premium like where you get no ads. It's a thing you pay like $40. That one, the one with no ads is like $15 a month. But YouTube TV is where you pay $40 a month and you get like all these channels. Currently, as of now, YouTube TV is the only service that actually gets you all of the NFL. It's like if you're into sports, I'm looking into this, you can't get all the sports in one place like ESPN anymore. ESPN has a lot of it, but all this stuff, like you can only get the soccer stuff with what's Peacock? What is that, NBC? And it's like you can only get basketball with Amazon Prime, and you can only get NFL with YouTube TV. But either way, I just wanted to talk about how YouTube TV is dominating the industry. Like, there's so many people that watch YouTube now. They watch it more than TV, more than Netflix, more than anything. And Natalie Portman, who's a big movie star, and if you're younger, you might not even know who that is anymore, but she was in the old Star Wars movies. I say old. To me, the old ones are the ones from the 70s, but the old ones now are the prequels from like the early 2000s, which are way better than the new ones. That's right, I said it. But anyways, Natalie Portman, who at least used to be a prominent movie star that everybody knew, she was talking in an interview recently, and she was like, movies are just not that big a deal anymore. It's more of a niche thing. And she's right. She was saying how her kids, they don't know the movie stars anymore. They all know YouTube creators and Twitch people, and all the kids now, they don't want to be movie stars. They want to be YouTube stars. And I guess I can understand that as someone who's trying to do YouTube still. YouTube is where it's at because everybody and their brother has YouTube. For years and years, everyone's telling me to live stream on Twitch. And I'm not saying I never will, but every time I start thinking about it, I always come back to the fact that YouTube, the audience on YouTube is so much bigger, it's crazy. Everybody has YouTube. Everyone. Not that many people watch Twitch, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's like you can make more money, per se, on Twitch. But with YouTube, man, it's so... But the thing is with Twitch, you make money on Twitch when you're partnered with Twitch, which is when you sign a contract to live stream on Twitch. You do not necessarily make money just for being on Twitch. Like, I think you can get donations. Of course, I'm not making much money on YouTube anyways. We make money with our merchandise sales and with our website. So, that being said, click the links below. But I just wanted to talk about that. I think... Yeah, see, it's talking about Gen Z in the article here. Mostly Gen Z, which is... Gen Z is the main generation now. The millennials they're too old. They're the old one now. Gen Z isn't the young one. That's Gen Alpha, the iPad babies. I've heard they're crazy. We could talk about them on another episode. But Gen Z is like the main demographic now. So y'all are controlling what it is, and I think it's mostly TikTok and YouTube. Now TikTok is cool, but I'm not on TikTok. I think it's a bit closed off, whereas YouTube is more ubiquitous and universal. Now we'll have to check back in, 10 years, and we'll see if YouTube is still on top. It'll probably be TikTok by then. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. Alright, we got a lot more tabs to go. What is our time? I don't want to mess up the recording. We're doing this in one take, baby. Let's just keep going. Alright, the Xbox exclusives, we already did that. Oh, okay, here's one. Walmart is buying Vizio. Now, Vizio is the notorious Walmart brand. I always thought Walmart already owned Vizio. Apparently not. But here's how it is. Don't buy Vizio. It's the crappiest brand ever. But apparently they're making a lot of money. They're making so much money that Walmart just bought it. And apparently they run a lot of ads on their smart TVs. Smart TVs are so frustrating. I bought a smart TV for my birthday, and it was so cool, but it had audio lag, and apparently that's a thing that happens in a lot of smart TVs. So I had to return it. But they're buying Vizio, and apparently Walmart was Vizio's biggest customer, and so Walmart was like, let's just buy Vizio. And Vizio is probably like, okay, I'll take the money. Vizio makes money not from selling TVs. I mean, they do. But they make it by selling ads, including those shown on the Vizio SmartCast OS, which is the smart TV operating system on their smart TVs. They show the ads on free content. So now I guess Walmart's trying to expand their revenue stream. Wow. I didn't know Vizio was making that kind of money. That's crazy. So basically Walmart is going to make even more money because now they own the ad money that Vizio is making with their ads. Interesting. I thought it was Vizio selling TVs. Alright, speaking of other business stuff, we don't really do business here, but I like it, so we're going to talk about it. Capital One, you know, the bank that's like, what's in your wallet? They're basically this bank company. It's, banks. But their thing is that they don't really have physical locations. They do. They're kind of in the middle. Like, there's newer ones like Frost Bank that are all digital, whereas Capital One is more of a traditional bank that has really taken advantage of this trend, and they've transitioned into becoming mostly digital. And you can track down their branches, but mostly it's digital. Apparently they're going to buy Discover. Discover, which is a credit card company. Because money. I don't know why. Why would they need it, though? Here we go. Capital One shareholders will own 60% of the combined company. Discover shareholders will own 40%. Wow, that's crazy. Here we go. Alright, card issuers ranked by volume. Chase Bank, which is the big one. That's the biggest bank in America. American Express. Capital One is third. I guess they're just so big they're trying to gobble up everything. So that means once they buy this, Capital One will become the second largest card issuer. The largest one is obviously Chase. Because almost everyone, at least in America, has Chase. So this is all within the U.S. I think the biggest ones internationally is PNC Bank. But, it is what it is. That's crazy. Everything's buying everything, aren't they? Alright. So SpaceX is doing another launch. They're launching an Indonesian satellite. I think it actually got canceled because of weather. I really want to invest in SpaceX, but you can't. It's not a public company, unfortunately. Alright, let's move on. That one's boring. Google's AI, let's skip that. Blue Origin, which is, I'm kind of just doing this because I'm following the space industry. I'm investing in it. So Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' space company, they're debuting their new New Glenn, which must be a new rocket. What is New Glenn? Yeah, it's a new rocket. So the big dogs is SpaceX, Blue Origin, and some other ones, but man, the Blue Origin rockets sure do look cool. Why do all the new rockets look so much better and then the NASA rockets still look old? Because NASA is heavily involved in these companies because NASA is basically like a regulatory agency with space. So they have to get approved by NASA to launch stuff. Tesla or SpaceX does this all the time. I like how they have like a feather icon on the side of the rocket. So it's called... Okay, the rocket is named New Glenn, named after John Glenn, the first American to orbit Earth. I think he was a singer as well. It's as large as 3 school buses, powered by engines, blah, blah, blah. They're competing with SpaceX. They're basically launching rockets, but also launching satellites for other companies as well. Oh, here we go. Blue Origin is certifying New Glenn with the U.S. Space Force program to meet emerging... What? Oh, the Space Force. Okay, that's basically the U.S.'s like space division. A lot of people made fun of it when it came out. I think our last president started it, and everybody was making fun of him, but he is 100% right. We need a Space Force because all the other countries are going to have one. And if we don't have one, we're going to lose. That's all there is to it. I think the Space Force is just a cool idea. So it's basically just a new rocket. This one looks a lot less like a penis. That was the funniest part about the first Blue Origin rocket, was it was very phallic. This one looks... It's got your average phallic rating as far as rockets go. Alright, KNR, that one's boring. We'll skip that. Oh, so Shane Gillis hosted SNL, and again, we don't really do politics, but I wanted to talk about it because SNL became funny again for a minute. I quit watching SNL years ago because it's not funny. And Shane Gillis is like a newer comedian that I've kind of discovered the last like year. And I think I heard about him because originally he got fired from SNL. And I'd heard about him, but then in the last like year, I think I found clips of his podcast. And he's pretty funny. He's a lot funnier than you would think if you by looking like when you hear about him, when you look at him, you're like, I don't know about this guy. But he's actually really funny. And he hosted SNL. So I tuned in on YouTube, of course. I don't have TV. And it was actually funny. I genuinely laughed at the SNL skits. And it's like, why can't SNL be funny like this? Like, you could tell all the funny skits were his skits. And yeah, I didn't want to talk about like the controversy with Shane Gillis himself. I just wanted to point out that SNL made a good move. They had a comedian that we've actually heard of host it. Because a lot of times they have these hosts, so like they'll have a movie star host it. You've heard of them. But a lot of times they'll have people and you're like if you look at the cast of SNL, you're like, who are these people? I've never heard of them until they were on SNL. And even now, the most famous people on SNL, they're only famous from SNL. They hardly ever do anything outside of it. Now that's something that's been... That's a thing that has plagued SNL comedians for decades. But I just think SNL made a good move. Like, put funnier people on SNL and we will watch it again. Okay. Another Blue Origin thing. I don't want to talk about that. Oh, I found the tab with the giant DVD. It's 125 terabytes, not 100. That's even more. That's crazy. Alright, we have multiple tabs for that. Wi-Fi 7 is coming out, which is exciting. All right, so let's get back to AI. So Microsoft releases Pirate, it's a tool for generative AI. It's an open access automation framework, whatever that means, to proactively identify risks in generative. Okay, so the AI is getting so hard to control, we have to create AI to police the AI. And this is where we lose. This is where Terminator comes from. Am I right? Because if you remember from Avengers Age of Ultron, which was Avengers 2, that's who Ultron was. He was an AI created to police and learn from the other AI, which was what was the guy that Vision turned into? His name was, what was it, Jasper? What is Tony Stark's AI called? Jarvis. So Ultron was created to like help manage Jarvis, but in the movie he learned from Jarvis and then killed Jarvis because he realized Jarvis would be a threat, and then he started taking over the world. I think that might actually happen, y'all. I'm pretty scared. But anyways, so Microsoft is using AI to control the AI. Let's move on. I gotta hurry up and finish. I might. All right, maybe I'll just finish early. I'm at about an hour. I'm not so sure how important some of these are. We'll touch on intuitive machines and maybe. We got to talk about the bendy phone. But I have to go to work. I have to wake up for work in like a few hours. I have to be at work at 4:30. So, and it's like 11, so let's I'm going to keep going. We're going to power through these last few topics. Don't care about that. Oh no, we got to talk about the see-through laptops they had. So they had a GDC or whatever it is. I don't think it's GDC, it's another one. But they had I think it's a Lenovo laptops. Yeah, they had it at this trade show. And these laptops are so cool. It's just like in the sci-fi movies where it looks like just a panel of glass. But then it was MWC 2024. What does that stand for? This is where they had the bendy phones that go around your wrist. I don't really want to go into the specs. They probably suck and you can't use it yet, but it basically looks like two panels of glass connected like a book. But it's a laptop. And so the screen pops up on it's like a touch screen for the keyboard, touch screen for the screen itself. It seems cool. I don't know what the like aesthetically it looks cool. I'm not sure what the practical application would be. Like if you're trying to watch a movie, I don't really want to see the background of my wall. So I don't really know what to make of this, but man, it sure does look cool. This is future stuff right here. And like the keyboard is a touchpad, so you can also use a stylus, like if you're a designer or whatever. And it's got pretty good color and contrast. It's OLED, which is basically the newest, best. Man, it looks so cool though. It looks like something you would see in that game Cyberpunk 2077. Wow. Alright, so they had that, and then they also had these, the bendy phones. So it's Motorola. It's a phone that bends around your wrist. Like when I was a kid in the 80s, they had this thing called the slap bracelet, which is just a bracelet that you like slap it on your arm. But they have phones now that look like that. So you've heard of the phones that fold. Now they have curved ones that go around your wrist. Again, just like the see-through laptop. I don't know what the practical application of this is, but man, it sure does look cool. Like maybe if it's like medical or like at a concert, like people have to see your wristband. you could use it for that, you know. But, like, who's going to use this? I mean, it looks cool, but it's like the foldy phones that the screen folds up. I've seen, like, 2 people in the wild. You know, the YouTubers that review this stuff are going to eat it up, but how many normal consumers are actually going to buy this stuff? I don't know. But it looks cool. Okay, now let's do... What is Eagle Cam? Okay, so Intuitive Machines, this is more business, but it's space and technology. So Intuitive Machines is one of the companies I'm invested in, and we are not sponsored by them. I don't know them. I have no partnership with them. I'm just a regular consumer who bought shares of them, like, publicly on the public stock exchange or whatever. But I want to keep talking about it, and they did their first mission. Well, not their first mission. They launched like smaller rockets, but they put a lunar module on the moon. So Intuitive Machines is funded by. Let me pull up my stock thing here. Hold on. They basically do like they make like lunar modules, like when the spaceship goes to the moon, but then they have like the rover driving around the moon. This company is being funded by a company that makes those, like the rovers and stuff like that. Hold on, let me log into my stocks here. I want to pull up the description for Intuitive Machines on here. They manufacture, operate space products and services in the United States. They're building infrastructure around moon landing and space travel. So it's not the spaceship itself, but it's the little rover that flies. It's the communication system, the infrastructure, like when you're, like astronauts have to send messages to each other and talk to each other. Companies like Intuitive Machines provide that infrastructure. So, like if you need email in space, this is the company that makes it. Rideshare delivery services, which is how they launch other spaceships for people, satellites and stuff like that. It's called Lunar Orbit Delivery Services, Lunar Data Network Services, and they had their very first little rover thing landed on the moon successfully. This is a very big deal. I'm glad I invested in them. The stock jumped. I'm definitely making more money. Theoretically, they don't pay a dividend or anything, but I'm trying to find information on, because the article I saved was when they were having problems with it. So the little lunar lander was tipped sideways, and they could not get the the data, the orbital information for a minute. There was like 6 hours or a few days where they couldn't get any information, and so the stock actually dipped for a while. But then they did reestablish communication with it, and it touched down on the moon last week. But it landed on its side. That's what the issue was. The stock dropped 28%. Actually, I bought a few shares when it did that. And it was a good move because it went way back up now. It dropped and then it went up, I don't know how many points. A lot. It like doubled. Wow, very exciting. So this is the first private sector company to do this. No other company has done this except with like NASA. Not even SpaceX. Like, this is the first time a U.S. spacecraft has reached the moon's surface since the 70s. Can you believe that? It's so stupid that we haven't been doing this stuff for so many years. So they're downloading a lot of data. They're learning a lot. Wow, I made a good move getting in this stock. So I just wanted to talk about that, how it was a successful mission, and I'm reading it. So even though it kind of failed because it landed on its side, they still have all that telemetry data and all the data they got from a launch. So I keep saying this, the space industry, that's the new frontier. That's where everything's going. And I'm just glad that our country is even doing it. Because if we don't, other countries will, and we will be left out. Alright, well, what is our time here? This is a long one. Hour and a half. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you're on Apple Podcasts, we're also on Spotify. I appreciate you staying till the end. If you want to support us, please click the links below. I don't know if I have these links on Apple Podcasts, but basically, if you just Google Temporary Space Studios, you can find our links that way. We have a merchandise website called lettucewearclothing.com, like the food, LETTUCEWEAR clothing.com. Buy a shirt or a hoodie. We just got a new hoodie on there. That really helps us. And TemporarySpaceStudios.com is our official website. It's basically a streaming service. We have short films there. We got a cartoon on there that I produce with my buddy Miles, who does the Netflix podcast with me. And we've been doing that for like years. So check that out. That's called What's New to Netflix. But check out our website, Temporary Space Studios. Sign up for that. We're going to put a short film on there. Buy our merch. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Lettuce. Drive safe and shit.